accurate.
Maybe because he beat Flash, he can beat Innovation or something, but obviously looks to me at least like he doesn't think he can beat Sora straight up.
Well, we're going to Antarctica now, just like Rorschach did to go find Ozymandias, man.
I had no idea. I haven't watched that movie or read the comic yet.
Wow, you need to.
I tried watching the movie like twice and fell asleep both times. I get tired at night.
What I just told you isn't really a spoiler, but
well, now that I know that they go to Antarctica, I'm probably gonna watch it.
Yeah, you're like big on Antarctica, man.
I'm big on it.
You just like penguins, or you just like that it's like the end of the Earth?
Glaciers are the best. It's not the end. The Earth is round. Keep going from there if you want.
All right, well said, Artosis. Let's go into this second game between Sora and Armani on the King Sejong Station.
All right, our Protoss player in the bottom right.
Sora.
There he is, getting almost a free win in game one, just a solid defense there. Up against this very aggressive player. He is known as
Armani.
All right, what does he have planned this time? Imagine if that's just like his strat.
Yeah,
just goes for more. Hey guys.
Ooh, that was scary over there on the left side. Are you a dancer?
What?
The Korean commentator asked him if he was a dancer, like really loudly.
Oh, really?
In English, he said, "Are you a dancer?"
Oh, that's funny. I didn't hear that. Like, wow, your Korean's really good.
I was on a funny Korean commercial recently.
That was a funny commercial you did for the GSL finals, I have to say.
Yeah. I hope I can make some more of those soon. I think I will be making another one soon.
Tara found that on Reddit last night and put it on, and I laughed. Again, I laughed the first time too.
I showed it to my Korean friends. They just like all died. But because it was funny.
Yeah.
They didn't actually
Hopefully
die.
not because it was like the tape.
It was not fatally.
Yeah. What was the name of that movie? The Ring?
Yeah. I actually
Hopefully it wasn't that type of scenario.
I never actually saw that movie.
It's not very good.
Yeah, it's those kind of like weird horror movies are not really my thing. Did he misplace that hatch? No, it's right. It's right.
That's right.
That scared me for some reason.
Well, oh wow.
Oh, eat that really quick. You're on camera.
That whole thing? Oh man. He's like, oh no, they're going to see me eating this. Throws it all in his mouth.
We caught you anyways.
Yeah.
So, did he leave that pylon over there?
No, he didn't make the pylon.
Are you sure?
Yeah. He was like going to make it. He told it to make and then didn't make it.
Okay, just
like
on the minimap it looked kind of funky to me. I thought it was actually still there.
But no, he's skipped that. But this probe going over here, who knows what he's going to make? Maybe he'll hide something. Might just be kind of hiding the probe to use him a little bit later on.
Or maybe to save him. Like, okay, no, he's going to hide it. I was going to say maybe perhaps he just kind of takes a safer path home.
Yeah, you can. Well, you can always go out and like throw down a pylon later on. Just a proxy pylon that kind of catches his opponent off guard.
I wonder if he's just going to use that later on with like a gateway attack maybe.
I would imagine that's what he's saving it for, but it could be for scouting as well because you're not going to have anything posted necessarily over there to stop him from getting in and seeing what your third is like.
Yeah, the thing about putting a pylon there is that you can't really attack the natural with it because there's rocks there, there's debris. But he could use it for, like, if he does for some reason a +2 Blink Stalker attack, which you've seen a lot in Pro League on this map in this matchup.
That's true.
Then he could just use that and break the rocks and attack from there. That could be something we see later on.
Yeah, definitely. And if I was him, I would also be considering trying to dart into the third in a couple of minutes here just to see the drone count, because then you can spot something like that Ling all incoming again. If you see, the third is up, the creep has been spread on it, and you know how long it's been there, and hey, you have like one drone here? What's that mean? Are you making Lings again?
Yeah. I have a strong feeling that we're going to see that +2 Blink Stalker attack. He hasn't...
Well, he's making a Stalker right now.
He hasn't added any other tech yet. He could still add a Stargate. It would be a little bit later than we normally see.
I'd be pretty surprised if he goes Stargate at this point. And you know what? I think that All right, so hold on. Here's actually a question. If he goes for, let's say, a +2 blink stalker attack, and he is making a second stalker, and it wouldn't be +2 maybe now because it's this +1 starting a little bit slow, but we'll see. And it does look like this is, you've called the build exactly, Wolf, but do you think that this is smart or not smart to do against a Zerg player of lesser skill?
That's a really good question. I would say it is because you're up a game in the series. And I think it's a really good build for the map. We oftentimes see the player take the third base here, not mine from it at all, just put down the 3 gates there, and it really throws a Zerg player off. I feel like Armani doesn't have that much experience compared to Sora. He's going to kill this Overlord, knowing, by the way, that it didn't see the third base. I think it's a good choice. What are your thoughts?
Well, I like it with the third base. If he was doing it off 2 bases, I don't like it as much because, oh man, that is actually a pretty harsh loss. But if he's like, let's say he does just a 2 base +2 blink stalker all in type of move off 2 bases, I don't like something like that against one of these newer players because, like, what does this kid practice all day? Probably against crap like that, right? And why would you give him that? Why don't you put him into a scenario where he gets less practice because you're the more experienced, better player, right? But as is, I'm not entirely sure what he's doing yet. He is adding those gateways.
There's still no Twilight Council.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing.
That is the weird thing.
There it is.
Okay.
I think the timing still works out.
Yeah, it's lined up like perfectly for a no chrono boost, I believe, or just slightly behind for a no chrono boost on that +1.
I think he's just going to leave maybe 1 or 2 probes at that third base, cut probes there. He's got 52 out already.
Well, you know, you can always just go into a macro type of build here, like just with blink stalkers and +2, because that's solid. You know, if your opponent is trying something cheesy with like Roach Hydra, then if you have a bunch of +2 blink stalkers and a few sentries, he's not going to bust you. You're going to be in great shape.
I suppose so. You know, I've just cast so many games on this map in this matchup, but it seems like almost every single time blink stalker +2 attack against the Zerg. Kill the rocks. So. I mean, I know you watch almost all the Pro League VODs, if not all of them, so you've probably noticed this as well. And
well, certainly not all, because I've never seen Armani, but no, I've seen it quite a bit. And you know, one of my favorite ways that I've seen Zergs try to hold it here is by upgrading Burrow.
Yeah, the
seen
BL
a
style.
lot of that. Yeah, exactly. One of my very favorite Zergs.
Well, it doesn't look like he's hitting any sort of timing with this. It's just more so the macro that you saw. And he could actually hit like a really solid economic attack here with a bunch of extra gateways off the 3 base. That's something we've seen before too, but it's not as common as the much faster +2 blink stalker attack. He's going to kill this Overseer before... Oh, he's... Could have seen a little bit more there, but those get taken out.
I don't know that there's a whole lot more he really needs to see. When you see this many stalkers, you're like, okay, well, you're obviously going blink. You're not going to stalkers so that you can get, you know, I don't even know, insert thing that isn't blink here. You know, it's pretty obvious what's going on. He's actually going to go into Swarm Host play, which is actually almost kind of refreshing because we haven't seen Swarm Hosts, like, at all today, and not during the GSL Finals either.
Yeah, well, this is kind of painful. You know, he only has 1 cannon here. He's going to lose all of the Zealots. The probes on the way. Actually, he might even be able to kill that Nexus. Decides to go for, you know, back at home instead because he realizes, okay, the Stalker attack is not a joke. The hallucinated, like, Warp Prism looked pretty silly because he saw that it was actually fake, like, right in front of his face. But now he's starting to realize, okay, this is very much for real, and I need a little bit more time for my Swarm Host to get ready. I just need to get them into position. And I think with this many Swarm Hosts with no Observer, you might be okay here. There's no detection whatsoever, and this is a very bold blink.
It certainly is. It looks like he wanted to somehow kill those off before they burrowed, but
or maybe
what would Armani be looking at to lose one of them?
Actually, I think what might have happened is because he had no detection since they were already burrowed, he didn't think there was anything there, and he was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go up here. Then the Locust spawns.
He blinked up, actually, before. Maybe he didn't see him is what happened, because he blinked up before they did burrow.
Okay.
But, you know, with those there, he has to get a Robo, which is going to turn this into a much longer game, because right now we have Armani actually on 4 bases. He already has a decent number of Swarm Hosts out. He's getting more. His upgrades are okay. And by the time that he has an Observer out, Blink Stalker is not a good choice against that many Swarm Hosts.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need some AoE. You know, once he gets his Once he gets his gas bank up just a little bit more, we might even see a second robotics go down.
I'm actually getting so happy right now. Hold on. Let's... Oh, my God. Picks off 3 free swarm hosts.
And a roach.
Oh, that's brutal. Poor Armani. That is really, really painful. But let me just jump backwards and say something here. I love what we're seeing from Sora here, because Sora made a style before Protoss was all the rage, and it was based off of getting a quick 3 base with a lot of sentries, going into, of course, +2 Blink Stalker, but then into Colossus Tech and Dark Templars at kind of the same time. And he's doing something very similar to that here. So he's kind of adjusted one of his older builds to keep the same core style there, but be more updated for the current metagame, and that's what we're seeing here. And it's like really, it's awesome to see, and I'm stealing exactly this build.
What's really refreshing to me in this game is, and I like what you mentioned, but is just how mobile he is on the map and how like this map is his. Sora owns this map, right? He's blinking forward aggressively. He killed those swarm hosts earlier. You know, he trapped the roaches. He's like, oh, you think you're going to do a little roach poke? I'm going to surround and kill every single roach and lose nothing. Now he's moving over here, getting on the high ground behind this mineral line so he can kill some drones and some overlords that he catches along the way. This DT is doing a lot of damage, by the way, and one of the main base not even seen. I think Armani definitely having some nerve issues in this game, but this map is owned by Sora right now. He is controlling every aspect of it completely.
He certainly is everywhere at the moment and doing a good job of things, but again, when I look at his composition, I'm not sure like if he can do any lasting damage. Even though he's killing a few drones here and there, he's forcing his opponent to run around like a madman. You know, he's trying to make him get some more defensive structures up to try to stop these ETs. Like, he didn't kill a hatch. He didn't kill a giant chunk of army. He didn't kill a giant chunk of drones. He's just kind of like exerting his influence around the map. And in fact, oh man, that's like a bigger loss than basically even those 3 swarm hosts were not as big a loss as I would say what that was right there.
Yeah,
that's painful. That's really painful.
No permanent damage done. Now losing the sentries. Those are all of his sentries, not a single one left, which hurts him for force fields, but almost arguably more importantly, now he doesn't have any hallucination scouts, so he's going to have to rely only on observers, and after all the spores that just went up for the DTs, it's hard for him to get in there to actually get that information. I'd like to see him make more sentries, but he doesn't have the gas.
Yeah, and that is an issue. You know what? A lot of people talk about CJ Hero and how much he likes to scout with hallucinations. The only person in my mind that scouts as much or more with hallucinations and relies more on that information is Sora. He is someone that like does very hard tech shifts against what he's seeing, and without being able to scout basically at all at this point, that could be a little bit rough for him if there's any wrenches thrown in by Armani.
Yeah. That one DT getting a ton of kills, by the way, over there. Yeah, most of them Zerglings, but still. Main base attack here, even having 2 Stalkers to join in with some extra range DPS is going to do a lot of damage. Looks like he's just kind of splitting them into a bunch of different directions. No real targeting here, but he's going to trade pretty nicely against the Zerglings because they can't get a good surround. They have good upgrades, the +3 on those Zealots.
Those 2 Stalkers were kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Why were those in there?
I think he accidentally dropped them. Like, I think he lifted them maybe when he was trying to lift some of the Zealots.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think he lifted 2 Zealots and 2 Stalkers.
Why are the... I was really trying to figure out, I'm like, are those to pick off an Overseer? I don't... 2 Stalkers don't pick off an Overseer, so I don't really get
much of anything.
No, they don't really do a whole lot. 4 is okay, but that's early game. Anyways, he does have a decent amount of Colossus at this point. He's about to have 2 more, bringing him up to 5 with a ton of Blink Stalkers in there. And that means he can start fighting against the Swarmos and the Locust.
Well, that hatchery may be dead, but this army is caught out of position. Looks like he didn't have enough for a recall, and he's going to have to try to kite his way back here. Great micro by Sora, but I mean, it's all he can do to make the best of a terrible situation here. Now finally trying to catch those Corruptors.
Well, he saves one of his 3 Colossus right there, and he actually killed the Natural during this time.
And so many drones are going down.
Yeah, you know what? I thought when I saw that big army going after Sora's army there that Armani was going to get ahead. But losing that Natural, and look at this. As you said before, Wolf, he's really owning this map. He's all over the place. He's picking off units. He's picked off a lot of Corruptors, some additional Swarm hosts, and he picked off that Natural.
Yeah. He lost his Observer, his only Observer, which means that killing Swarmos isn't really possible for him right now. Not that he'd be able to get over there really anyways, but it's going to cost him some robo time. We see the triple Stargate transition here because I think he's scared about a possible, really big switch to mutas, but there's not enough gas for that, and I think actually maybe even more so he's just trying to prepare for Tempest because he knows that Broodlords are usually the comp you see on this map against this to complement the Stormless. He's going to lose this hatch again, I'd say, right?
Oh,
If he
yeah,
clicks
yeah.
it. Oh,
For sure. He'll kill that off, no doubt.
No
and by
cancel.
the way, that probe that was hiding over the left side has caused a lot of issues because that is where a lot of these Zealots have been warped in from.
Yeah.
So good job there.
Spawning pool is saved here. Ooh, these Zealots will likely not be. At least 3 of them were not. And he's switching to Void Rays. There's the Fleet Beacon. Some awkwardly, like, not babysat.
What are they doing? This is like a very fortuitous move here by Armani. He should actually just suicide all of these. He kills every one of these, which...
I think he actually should have stayed.
Let's see. If he microed to the right a little bit, yeah, I think he could have gone out range of the cannon and, like, Sora would have had to been completely on top of moving his Colossus around. I think he should have stayed.
Well, let's be honest.
I really think he should have stayed there.
Staying or not staying, he did a great amount of damage. That was a good trade for him. So,
and he kept his Corruptors. So I mean, these are. It's not like he can't kill those Colossus a little bit later. It's just they're definitely going to get more shots off in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really nice. And he hasn't remade 1 sentry, by the way, which bugs me, because get at least 1 for Guardian Shield.
Guardian Shield, it's like getting a +1 armor, you know, for the army.
Even more, effective. Man. It's crazy. I love Guardian Shield. It's like, why would you get an armor upgrade over 1 additional sentry? Don't do it. Guardian Shield to be there.
Or get both, you know.
Oh, whoa, that's even better. It's crazy.
Well, Mothership is in production. Not sure how useful that's going to end up actually being, but we'll see.
Well, you know, I actually quite like Mothership with Protoss armies in late game against Zerg, to be honest. Like, all the Locusts that come up to you, I mean, you're not sending detection with the Locust, right?
Yeah.
You don't have, like, a Locust Overseer army moving forward.
What I like for the Mothership is to just sit on the base that are being targeted by the Storm Host.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good way to use it,
too. That way he can't actually kill your Nexus or any of your static D.
Yeah.
And they can't go through it. By the way, he might lose this Greater Spire. He loses the hatchery already, but he could maybe get the Greater Spire, does not. He's going to actually start killing these Broodlords. This is so painful for Armani. He's going to lose the Corruptors as well.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. He wasn't expecting those Voids, it seems.
Look how far out there. The Stalkers are going to intercept here.
Oh, yeah. He's going to lose every single one. Ugh.
Oh, that was just a panicked right-click move, I think, to get those out of there.
Yeah, he right-clicked and went off to do other things. Well, at this point, he's been completely picked apart. There's, like... If he was a chicken wing, there's not even any marrow left in his bones at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's totally dry here, man. He's starting like 8 more Corruptors desperately, but he's got no bank anymore.
Like, uh-oh, it's Stalker Void Ray. I better make Corruptors. Nope, sorry. This is basically done for. How many Colossus do we have? We have 3. Sora will eventually group up and kill him if he doesn't GG, but he does, and GG. But I do have to say, Armani played a pretty good game there. He looks pretty good.
I have to say, like, the skeleton of his game was good, but he made a few poor decisions, and his multitasking was just like 3 levels behind Sora's in this game. Sora destroyed that map, ripped it up, and tore it apart.
Well, I definitely can't argue with anything you're saying there, but, you know, for a player that I really haven't gotten to see play before, I don't think I've seen any of his games, but I think that overall I'm like, oh, this is a Zerg that you give him a year or 2. Really, he could be a very good player.
Yeah, he's definitely got some good potential. It's unfortunate for him that he's in such a stacked group going into this.
Well, Sora and Innovation, they are the ones in that winner match, so he's going to have to beat at least one of those guys, or exactly one of those guys, if he's going to get through. We'll see the winner's match coming up next after this commercial break.